Hello. Welcome on back to my channel. Today's going to be a lot of fun for us because I've partnered up with Dalba to present you all with this tutorial that focuses in on the complexion. That's going to be the main focus today, creating that beautiful glass-like effect to the skin that we love so much, and then pairing it with a perfect nude lip for the fall season. So without further ado, if you want to learn how I created this look right here, then keep on watching. So to begin, I'm taking the Dalba First Spray Serum, shaking it up really well before applying this onto the skin. I spritz it on, let it absorb, and then I'll use my hands to really press and massage it in a second. This is going to take care of the skin prep for today. Y'all have been seeing me use this product for I don't know, the last few months, and I really enjoy it. The brand who makes this, Dalba, is a Korean skincare brand. Their products can be found on Amazon. I'll link their info down below. They're certified 100% vegan by V-Label, and in terms of the ingredients in this, it's natural and antioxidant based. It has the Italian white truffle extract, that's what it's known for. It has the vitamin E and other ingredients that improve the skin's elasticity over time, and it allows for the complexion products we use on top of it to blend beautifully into the skin. So let me go ahead and show you that. Today I'm using the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation and applying this on with a makeup sponge. You'll see how this melts into that serum spray we just used. It doesn't separate, it doesn't pill up, it doesn't create a weird texture. They just, they create this beautiful partnership to get the result I'm looking for. Because honestly, I could sit here all day and talk about the, the long-term benefits of the skincare ingredients I use, which of course, yes, we can all agree that's great, but as a makeup artist, I need the skincare to give me some kind of instant results as well. And that's what I love most about using the serum spray. It gives the skin an instant glow and drink of hydration without weighing it down or, irritating it. And more than anything, it allows the complexion products I use to blend beautifully into the skin. And if you stick around till later in the tutorial, I'll show you my favorite way to use this product to transform the finish of the makeup. But until then, I'm taking my time pressing and blending this foundation in. By the way, I'm using the shade 200 here on our model Caitlin today, which, if I do say so myself, is the absolute most perfect shade match for her. It's a little tanner than her face, but matches seamlessly with her chest. Once I have this blended in, I'm then using this Makeup Forever HD all-in-one face palette to contour with. I'm applying the deeper shades in this palette to the hollows of her cheekbones, beneath her jawline, and along the perimeter of her forehead to add some warmth and dimension back to the skin. I like building this pigment with a brush. I think the one I'm using here is also from Makeup Forever, if I'm not mistaken, but you can use really any foundation brush or even a blush brush that you already have. The point here is that I'm already creating a diffused application by applying it on this way. A lot of times we see people doing the stripes and the polka dots and all that with a dramatically deeper shade, right? And by the way, if that works for you, heck, keep doing it. Who am I to tell you otherwise? But ultimately, I found that by doing it that way, I'm adding way more product than I need to, and I'm creating more work for myself by having to work twice as hard to blend that out. But by softly building up this pigment with a brush and then following up by using the sponge we used earlier to diffuse it out, which you'll see here in just a second, it gives me more control, and in my opinion, it gives me the best result. And should I want more, I can do so by heading back to the brush and I can add more. Or if I found I added a little too much, I can use whatever's left of that foundation in the sponge that we used earlier to diffuse it out. So it just goes back to what I was saying about having more control over how much product is applied and allowing myself wiggle room to add more if need be. Okay, now that we have this contour blended, I'm then using the Jouer Essentials High Coverage Concealer in the shade Custard and applying this directly to the under eye to conceal this area of the skin. You'll notice that I didn't bring the foundation we used earlier up to the area around the eyes, and that's only because I know I'm going to use a full coverage concealer anyway, and there's no sense in me having to layer products on top of each other just to get the same exact result as I would have just by using the concealer alone. And when I say same results, I'm speaking in terms of coverage here. The only difference it would make had I brought the foundation up underneath this concealer is in the overall finish. The skin around the eyes is so thin and delicate, which makes it prone to creasing. And if you're someone whose under eyes crease up, chances are, guys, it's going to happen no matter what. It's kind of unavoidable at this point, but at least we can somewhat control the severity of it by using less layers. So anyway, I apply on the concealer, blend it out, and also use a brush to diffuse out that pigment onto the upper eyelids as well. Next up, I'm using the Givenchy Prisme Libre loose powder to set that concealer into place with a powder puff, really pressing it into the product and into the skin. This powder is really great for the delicate areas of the face, like the under eye. I love using it on myself, and I know how much our model Caitlin loves it too. She always has the best TikToks showing how she uses it, so Givenchy powder it is today. And by the way, if you have any creasing happening before using this powder, take a second to grab your sponge and blend it out real quick before using the powder, because once you use powder on top, there's no going back to fix it. I mean, I guess there are like little things you can do to fix it, but it's always best to blend out the liquid products beforehand as best you can before using any kind of powder on top. So now that the under eyes are set, we can now move on to the rest of the complexion by using this one size translucent loose setting powder and using this to set the foundation around the perimeter of the face. Notice here how I'm lightly tapping this on. I'm not dragging and sweeping this across the surface of the skin. This is really important to point out because I don't want to drag the foundation. We just worked so hard to get this beautiful finish and blend of the complexion product, so we don't want to disrupt that. We simply just want to set those liquid and cream products into place and bring down the shine where it may be the least flattering. And that just comes down to preference. So for me, I don't like a lot of shine around the lower half of the face, around the mouth and jawline. And in my opinion, when this area of the face has too much shine, it reads kind of greasy or sweaty. I don't know. So I just like these areas matte. And then to finish off, I like using a powder puff. And this isn't necessarily to add more powder, but more so to further press the powder in that we just applied with the brush, and almost use the fabric of this puff as a blotting tool to pick up any excess oil. After this, I'm grabbing this one size Turn Up the Base powder foundation and using the same powder puff to not only add more coverage in the areas I want it, but really to further mattify the skin more than anything. If you're experiencing texture or a breakout or large pores, powder really is going to be your best friend. Now, it's not going to magically make your skin look photoshopped and filtered, okay? I mean, we have to be realistic here, and this is a perfect example of that. Pigment and coverage doesn't diminish the appearance of texture. Pigment only covers other pigments. So if you have scarring or sun damage or hyperpigmentation, that's easy to disguise if that's your goal. Now, real quick, I'm going to take this Haus Labs Velvet Bronzer. I'll put the shade down below, and I'll use this to lightly reinforce the areas of the skin we had applied the cream contour earlier. But yeah, as I was saying, color pigment itself doesn't have any effect on the actual texture of the skin. It's the formula that's going to have the biggest effect. Anything that mattifies the skin and makes it less dimensional is going to create a smoother appearance, which is what powder does. It dulls the shine down. So it's really all about tricking the eye here, keeping the sheen in certain areas of the face. You see here how the light is reflecting off the skin on the sides of Caitlin's face, and there's still a subtle shine on the center of her forehead and down the bridge of the nose. I absolutely love that. And it gives the illusion that the makeup is lightweight and breathable because her skin still looks authentic. But yet you and I both know that this is a full coverage application. So in saying that, I'm taking our one size setting powder to bake with underneath the eyes and along the jawline to brighten and further set these areas into place for just a few minutes. But Yeah, I know I became a little long-winded there with my explanation and thoughts, but I could talk about this with you guys all day because I do love the technical side of makeup, but at the same time, keeping things realistic. You know what I mean? Utilizing makeup to complement what we have rather than compete with it. Clearly, our model has incredible skin. There's no doubt about it. Sure, she has a little bit of texture around her chin, but it's nothing out of the normal. Like this is what skin looks like right here. We all have texture, and we can see here close up and very, very high quality footage, the beautiful detail of her skin and how it wears makeup. That's the most important part to take away from this. If you're gonna wear makeup, then wear makeup. Don't let the makeup wear you. You know what I'm saying? So moving right along, I'm taking this clear brow gel from Benefit and running this through her brow hairs. I'm not gonna lie, I had it pretty easy here because she already had her brow hairs gelled into place from earlier in the day, but I don't know. I just wanted to look like I was doing something. So thank you, Caitlin, for helping me with this and making my job easy. But what I will do is I'll take this Haus Labs brow pencil in the shade Ash Brown and run the tiniest amount of this in the sparse areas of her brows. She already has incredible brows, so I don't want to overdo it here, especially since we're keeping the eye makeup very minimal. Well, I can't even say minimal because technically the eye makeup is going to be non-existent for this look today. All I'm doing is wiping away the powder we've let bake. We're not using any eyeshadow. We're not using bronzer through the crease. We're not even adding mascara. I mean, nothing, zip, nada. And I don't know what it is about this, but I've always loved the look of a completely naked eye with polished skin and a sharp, bold, dramatic lip. Something about it reads modern to me and clean and fresh, but still glam and still looks like you put forth effort. I don't know. But I have a feeling it's something we're going to be seeing more of in the near future. But I did promise you earlier in the tutorial that I'd show you my favorite way of using that Dabble mist. And here it is. Once I'm completely done with the complexion makeup, I douse the skin in this. And what this does is it takes all those powders and just melts them into the skin and rehydrates it. That's key here because this isn't like a normal water mist that goes dry in a few minutes. No. This actually adds back in that healthy sheen to the skin that I'm showing right here. Very, very similar to that glow you have right after applying on your skincare, if that makes sense. And then, of course, you can go in one last time with a powder puff to fine-tune any areas. But yeah, I really love this stuff. It works for me. It's affordable and it's accessible. You can get it on Amazon. I'll put the link below if you want to check it out for yourself. But we got to keep it moving now. For the lips, I'm starting out with this lip liner from Makeup Forever in the shade Endless Cacao and using this to trace the borders of the lips. I'm going for a moodier lip color today, something that's perfect for the fall season, and also something that adds nice balance to the rest of the makeup we have, which is very neutral. So little by little, I'm applying this on, trying to get it as precise as possible. But sometimes, honestly, with such a high contrast of a lip color, I often have the client or the model help me out with this, which is what I did off camera here. I just gave her the liner and I had her perfect the shape to her liking. If you're a makeup artist watching and your client is comfortable with that, I say go for it. I do it all the time because I just find it to be more efficient. And people are picky about their lip shape. I am too. It's something about brows and lip liner that a lot of people are keen on perfecting, and I don't blame them. So anyway, after that, I'm taking this KVD Beauty liquid lipstick in the shade Snake Willow and tracing right over that liner. This part is much easier because we're using the liner as a blueprint, so it's kind of taking the guesswork out of it. And you can take whatever direction you want with this. Because there's no eye makeup to compete with, you can have fun with this lip color. Throw on a deep plum or a bright coral, or what I did was I quickly switched this out with a glossy red lip for the next look we did. I'll show you a couple pictures here of how it turned out, just to give you an idea. By the way, a huge shout out to my friends Roman and Adrian. Roman is the photographer behind these amazing photos, and Adrian is the genius behind these hair looks. I wish I could take credit for doing this hair, But that's all Adrian right there. Both of them are so talented. If you're ever looking for some inspiration or looking for a hairstylist or photographer in LA, check them out. I'll put their socials down below. They're always such a pleasure to work with. And the same goes for Caitlin. I could paint her face all day, every day if she let me. She's so stunning, and we always have a lot of fun with the looks we create together. So now that I have this color applied and diffused, I'm then using another KVD liquid lipstick, this time in the shade Velvet Cloak, and applying this just to the center of the lip. This is going to create a beautiful transitional ombre effect. The color story here is incorporating those reddish purple tones from the backdrop, but also the deeper brown hues of the trench coat that she's changing into for the outro shots. And the fabric of the coat is like a latex. So I'm taking this clear gloss from MAC and popping this right on top for that high shine, glossy latex effect that I think ties everything in. I mean, look at how this just transforms the vibe, doesn't it? Man, MAC really does have the best clear gloss on the market, and I can't be convinced otherwise. It adds a layer of dimension and glamour and plays up the drama and gives that overall wow factor to this look, which really makes this the perfect last step and how I created this polished and fall-ready look on our naturally beautiful model, Caitlin. There we have it, kids. I hope y'all enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, be sure to give this video a big ol' thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also check out more of my work on my Instagram at Painted by Spencer. And until next time, I'll see you soon.